Hello. I'll just wait for a minute. Just checking if my mic is working. I'll just wait for a minute. Oh, sorry. Was just checking. Okay. Things are going to start to go wrong. Thanks, Holly. So we'll start about Paddy, shall we? So there was a coroner's inquest into Paddy that started in January of this year. Yeah, I know, Holly. I spoke to him. And it started in January and went for 2 to 3 days in January, and then resumed back in April of this year. I think it was the 6th. It was the 6th of April. And if you can remember what I said about the gardener and about Fran and the Fran with the pies, with her camel pies, and yeah, I just don't want to go there anymore. Well, apparently a witness come forward in that inquest and said that he was approached by Fran in the town Catherine, and she offered him $10,000, or actually originally it was $9,000, if he would knock Paddy off. And she said she'd willing to put in a little bit more. Anyway, this guy said, I'll see what I can do. So he went back to wherever he lived. And then, lo and behold, Paddy went missing. And he said that, I turned around and said to my mate, oh, God, the B word, has finally done it. So the police, when they investigated, put a recording device in, I'm guessing, the room that Owen Laurie, the gardener, was staying in at Fran's place, and got recordings of it, of him in his room singing and talking to himself. Now, this man's not, like I said, I swear to God, he is a hitman. So I will share this with you, because this is the really fun part. I don't know if you can read that. So the inquest was played 8 scratchy audio recordings made between January and June of 2018, in which Mr. Laurie allegedly appears to be talking and singing to himself. While it was difficult to decipher what was said when the audio was played, sorry guys, I'll do this and make this easier. When the audio was played in court on a loudspeaker, Mr. Curry told the inquest that in the first recording, detectives who listened to the audio with headphones believe Mr. Laurie allegedly said, effing idiots. Yeah, tell them what I've done. Hit with a effing hammer. Tell them how I hit you with a effing hammer. Mind you, this verse goes on for quite some time, but it's constantly repeated. Mr. Laurie told the inquest he did not make the comments. He then said he would not be responding to further questions on the grounds that he did not want to incriminate himself. My, how funny that is. So he didn't talk. So the second recording is, well, they didn't effing find the hammer. Well, they can't get me for anything. Sound like a hit guy? In the fourth recording, oh no, I've jumped one. In the third recording, he allegedly said, now this is the weird one, and this is a song. He's actually singing this one. I killer-rated old Paddy. I effing killer-rated him. Struck him on the head and killer-rated him. Basherated him. Doof, yes, he did. Basherated him. All right, Smoothie, thanks, love, for coming. Thank you. Hopefully I'll be doing more. Just got a couple of more things to sort out and then I should be right. But thanks for coming, love. Happy to have you here. Take care. Have a good day. Or afternoon, it'll be afternoon there. Or evening, actually. In the fourth recording, the inquest was told Mr. Laurie allegedly said, effing killer bastard, excuse me. Really don't want to use these words. You killed effing Paddy up the bum. Donged him on the head, effing him. Ooh la la, you effing killed Paddy and hit him on the head. Smacked him on the effing nostrils with me claw hammer. Not a great tune, no. It's actually the tune I found out to I've Got a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts. This guy sounds normal, does he not? In another, he allegedly referred to the body. We've got to find out who effing done it. Are you? That's if you don't find the effing body to find out who done it. What, you reckon there is a body somewhere and you want to find out who done it and who did it? I can tell you are not finding out. All right, Smoothie, love. Thank you. Thanks for your support, love. Hello, love, life, and true crime. Glad to have you here, love. Oh, I nearly missed one. No, I just read that one. So he claims they're not finding the body. Well, he was right. They didn't find the body. In another, he allegedly said, no wonder I effing belted him. No good. He would have been yee hee hee to the coppers. The final recording was made just 3 days before he took the stand in the first part of the inquest in 2018. So this inquest actually started in 2018, resumed back in January of this year and finalised in April. In it, Mr. Laurie allegedly referred to a dog while walking to his own dog. Ruby, what did you do with my book? I killed you myself. I'll kill pup dog. Ha ha ha. See you. Hooray. This man is a very sick man. And I, like when we were going through that case and watching the documentary about it, when you look at the evidence in that documentary and you realise that this guy here, Mr. Owen Larry, who was meant to be a gardener, yet only 10 people in that whole town, and not one person had seen him other from the waist down. Now, gardeners are usually outside gardening, of course. You would expect nearly everybody in that town to have known him by now, or have got to know him, or at least seen him. But nobody knew him, and the only reason that would be is he was a paid hitman. So I'm pretty sure that is all the recordings. Prior to Mr. Larry's appearance, his former employee, Fran Hoggets, took the stand, via an audio-vision link from Melbourne. She told the court she knew nothing about Mr. Moriarty's disappearance and rejected claims that she had offered to pay up to $10,000 for him to be analysed by a hitman. I can tell you now, I never, ever, ever, ever paid anyone to bump Paddy off, she said. I swear to God on my mother's grave, I know nothing about Paddy. I'm pretty sure she does. Witness heard Miss Hoggets discuss $9,000 payment for job, court told. So, as I said earlier, there was a witness that come forward and said that he was offered $9,000. And this happened in Catherine in 2017. She was very loud, abrupt, and said to Brian, "That bastard is still giving me a hard time. I need to get rid of him." So, I mean, no, she didn't do this at all, did she? So, I'll now finish this for you. So, the inquest come to the conclusion, like we all did, that Fran and Owen are the reason why Paddy went missing and lost his life. So they've now handed it over to the Department of Justice here, who have now taken the file, and we're waiting to see what happens. So hopefully they will get both of them. Let's see what they do. But the minute anything happens, I will update you on that. So now we're going to have the car. Sorry guys, you can hear the car. Oh, motorbike, actually. Sorry. He was too busy having sing-alongs in his shack. Well, he was living with her. He had a room with Fran. I mean, separate rooms. But it goes to show you what kind of sick, perverted man he was to sit there and sing songs like that to himself. But to kill his dog too. I mean, what did the dog do? And the dog wasn't going to identify him. Yeah, I hope they get him too, Holly. I really do. So I have another case for you. And this one's a little bit heartbreaking. I remember this case so well when this happened. I've just got to make sure I bring up the right one. Yep, that one. I'll have these. So this one is about a 22-year-old man who went to Melbourne in the city here to a nightclub back in 2007 in May. And he come out of a nightclub and a fight ensued, not with him, and he stepped in to break it up. And one of the people that were in the fight that wasn't with him punched him in the side of the head hard enough that he fell and hit the pavement and it knocked him out. Unfortunately and sadly, his mates took him home and he went to bed. He deteriorated overnight and his parents ended up taking him to the hospital. And sadly, after a number of operations and 6 days later, he lost his life because of that one punch. They are now offering $1 million reward for anybody who can identify the men in the CCTV footage, which I have for you guys here. And I also have the CCTV pictures out of it, of the three men, as you saw on the thumbnail. But this is rather heartbreaking. His parents have advocated to stop violence and to stop the one-punch hits, which we don't much hear of anymore, thank God. But this, I mean, he was only 22. He had his whole life ahead of him. Just, I mean, to lose your life just to go out for one night and to step in and break up a fight is sad. It's even sadder that the person that did it couldn't be man enough. All these mates couldn't be mad enough to say something. So this here, if I can make it bigger for you, please work. No, it's not going to let me make it bigger for you.
Detectives continuing to appeal for public information as part of their ongoing investigation into the death of Shannon McCormack in 2007. Shannon was just...
Can you guys hear that okay? I wish I could make it bigger for you to see, but for some reason it's not going to let me. Yes, okay. I'll mute my mic then. Okay, I don't know why there's no sound. Sorry, guys. Okay, I'll try it this way. Well, at least now I can make it bigger for you. Sorry about that. He's such a good-looking man too.
Homicide Squad detectives continuing to appeal for public information as part of their ongoing investigation.
So do you still have sound when I mute my mic now? Oh, good. Thank you. Sorry about that.
Causing a serious head injury.
Does it come through now when I mute it? Oh, I know why, guys. That's my fault. I done it again. I'm so sorry. I'm not sharing the sound. So very sorry, guys. That would explain it. So now it should work. I'm so sorry. We'll try this for a third time. Please forgive me.
Homicide Squad detectives continuing to appeal for public information as part of their ongoing investigation into the death of Shannon McCormack in 2007.
Are we right now, guys?
Shannon was just 22 years old when he was fatally assaulted. He had left the Queensbridge Hotel nightclub in Southbank with friends about 4 a.m. on Sunday, the 27th of May. The group then became involved in an altercation with another group, which comprised of at least 3 males about 100 metres from the venue. Shannon stepped in to try and separate his friend from the argument with another man when he was punched by an unknown male. He was knocked to the footpath and investigators believe Shannon struck his head on the ground, causing a serious head injury. Shannon's friends and nightclub staff administered first aid before taking him home to Eltham in a taxi. However, his condition deteriorated overnight and his parents conveyed him to the Austin Hospital. Despite undergoing a number of operations over the next few days, sadly, Shannon passed away on Sunday, the 3rd of June, as a result of his injuries. Investigators subsequently trawled through thousands of hours of CCTV footage, as well as interviewing a large number of witnesses, hotel staff and patrons, in an effort to locate the person responsible for the assault which led to Shannon's death. Police have also conducted a significant number of public appeals over the past 15 years as part of the investigation. In 2013, investigators released CCTV footage from outside the Queensbridge Hotel, which shows a man we are still looking to identify. The man is described as being between 165 to 175 centimetres tall, with a thin to medium build and light brown or blonde spiky hair. On the night, he was wearing a light purple or blue t-shirt and light blue jeans. Police are still appealing for anyone who recognises this man or has knowledge of his identity to come forward, and we are again releasing images from that CCTV. Shannon was just 22 years of age at the time of his tragic death and had his whole life ahead of him. He was much loved and popular and had a wide circle of friends. Shannon is still especially missed by his family, including his parents Bill and Cheryl, who have also been actively involved in appealing for information about who was responsible for their son's death. They remain desperate for answers and to see those responsible held to account. Police believe there are still people out there who have information about who was responsible for the assault which resulted in Shannon's senseless and untimely death. Over the past 15 years, it is highly likely that those involved on the night have spoken to someone else about it, and that the information may have also been passed on to others. Circumstances and allegiances may have changed, and people who weren't in a position to speak to police previously may now be ready to do so. As always, this information can be provided anonymously. I urge anyone with any information about the incident to please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or via their website. In April 2009, a $100,000 reward was announced in relation to information leading to the conviction of those responsible for Shannon's death. In June 2022, this reward was increased to $1 million. Someone out there knows something, and 15 years is a long time for Shannon's grieving family to go without answers.
Yeah, I agree with you, Pacific. Somebody definitely knows something. His mates that were with him on that night definitely know something. And I would say more than just them know something. Sadly, just for a bit of, as we call it, Dutch courage, because you have a few drinks, you want to take on the world, get out of my chat, please. Oh. Sorry, guys, I've got to block them. This is ridiculous. Did his mate say why they... Yeah, I'm trying to, love. Did his mate say why they didn't take him to the... Well, no. And I have no doubt they live with that for the rest of their lives. And I am guessing, being the fact that they were young, he's probably, after being, because he was knocked out when he was originally hit. And I'm guessing he woke up and probably, after having a few drinks, probably stood up and said, yeah, I'm right, just take me home, guys, just take me home. And sadly, he just deteriorated. I don't even know if his parents knew, or they just woke up to him deteriorating, sadly. But I have no doubt that they are living with this as much as his parents are, probably worse than his parents, because of the guilt they must feel. My heart does go out to them. It's all good, Holly. We got it sorted, love. I was doing the same thing. But, yeah. I'll just play that. I'll play this CCTV footage that I have here again, because I would like as many people to see this. Now, I don't know if this actually has audio, this one. But I remembered to turn the audio on this time, guys. Sorry. Yeah, there is no audio, not audio. And I think, actually, the other footage from the cold case that we were just watching is actually better, because they have it in colour as well. But it definitely needs to be out there, because this is 15 years now, and it's 15 years too long for his parents to sadly be waiting for somebody to pay the price for this. I mean, it's not going to bring him back. It won't give them closure in any way, shape or form. It's not going to heal them, but it will give them answers. Yep, it is time somebody speaks up, for sure. And hopefully, as we all know, friends, in 15 years' time, change, fallouts. I mean, these people might not live in Victoria anymore either. They might now live interstate, some of them. So hopefully this will get out there and somebody will recognise who he is, or one of the other two that was with him that night will come forward. Yep. I would hope so. And you can't tell me they didn't know or hear about Shannon passing either. Because I'll guarantee you that would be one of their excuses. Oh, didn't know he passed. He was all right. He stood up. Which he clearly didn't, because, as you heard, that they attended to him, the staff out of the bar, which I'm surprised the bar themselves didn't call an ambulance for him. I think that's what makes me angrier more than his friends, is that the staff in the bar, who would have been older, more mature, did not call an ambulance for him, because it could have possibly saved his life if they had got to him quicker. And no, in no way, shape or form am I blaming them for it. but staff should be trained on, and they are now, but they should have been back then too, trained on how to deal with things like this, especially when you're getting hit in the head. Yeah, Pacific, I would think so too. If they had to attend him and do first aid on him, I don't understand why they wouldn't have covered themselves and not called an ambulance. I mean, back then in 2007, there would have been plenty of ambulances around in Melbourne. You would have got one pretty quick there, especially on a Friday or Saturday night. And I think, like I said, that makes me more angrier than anything, is that the older and more mature people that helped this 22-year-old, not one of them thought it was a great idea to call the ambulance or an ambulance, even if he stood up after they attended to him. And apparently he must have been knocked out for a little bit, from what I can gather, if they had to attend to do first aid on him. Then yeah, I don't understand that for the life of me. I just don't understand that. And my dog's going to growl. All joining. But so hopefully, stop. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's right, Holly. And they would have to have somebody trained in first aid in that bar. Stop. Yep, for trying to break up a fight. The actions of alcohol and stupidity. And look how many lives are changed. Not the person that did it as yet. But then in saying that, I wonder if their life has changed. If, like I said, you can't tell me they didn't know, because this was on the news here. So you can't tell me, no, not one of them, him or his two mates, found out what happened to him. So I wonder if it did change his life. I wonder if he thinks about it. If he does have a conscience, I hope it eats at him. But apparently not enough for him to come forward. But yeah, like I said, they had to have somebody, one or two people trained in a bar here in first aid. Yeah, Holly, I believe in karma too, love. Strongly. I also believe what's done in the dark always comes to the light. You will always get caught out one way or another. If you don't face judges here, you'll definitely face it when you pass over. But one would hope that they face it here to somehow give the parents answers. And his mates who were there answers. You got to wonder, do they now have children themselves? I wonder if they look at their own children and think, God, when they're teenagers, or when they're 22, when they're 18, somebody could do that to them. I've never understood the mentality of people that go out to get a few drinks in them and want to take on the world and deliberately start fights. And sadly, it still happens. 100%, Holly. They certainly do. After 15 years, I would like them to get some sort of answer. I would love somebody to recognise who these three are, or especially this one, and come forward. Or his other two mates that possibly now, I believe, have fallen out with him, to come forward, being man enough to come forward. I mean, it's time they paid their dues. No, Pacific, they don't. And how many times has it happened when we think about it? How many lives have been lost when, teenagers and, 20, 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds go out to enjoy themselves, minding their own business, and get dragged into a fight and lose their life. And it happens more than what we think. Why did this case get my very recent attention? Oh, more recent attention. Because apparently here, they're going over a lot of the old cold cases here. And they now have a cold case unit that is revising a lot of the old cases and upping the rewards to get answers. And so I know originally the CCTV footage was not released. And then it was released in 2009, if I can remember that correctly. Let me check that. I'm sure it was 2009 that they first released the footage. And then they revised it and re-released it, as well as done that video. And they also, that where I played that video from is a cold case website, and it's really great. I love that they do videos like that for all of them now on there. And we have a lovely truck passing by. This was actually, and yeah, I forgot about this, it was one of the first one-punch deaths, which sadly became all too common in the years following. And I know his family have campaigned tirelessly for greater awareness around this issue. But yeah, I can't find where it said it. But I'm positive it was released in 2019. No, you're good, CC. You're fine, love. So, yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown, CC, if you like. So the update on PADDY, MORIARTY, was, as we said, the gardener and Fran. Fran, there was a witness that come forward and said that Fran had offered him $9,000 originally, or a little bit more, because PADDY was still there and she needed to get rid of him. She denied it, of course. And as for the gardener, which was Owen Larry, they recorded him singing to himself in his room about killing him with a claw hammer. The songs are just one, very foul-mouthed. Two, basherated and killerated him. It was in one of those recordings, and it was a song to "I Love a Bunch." It was sung to "I Love a Lovely Bunch of Coconuts." Hello, Jody. So yeah, they had an inquest which started in 2018, resumed in January this year, and went for 2 to 3 days, and then resumed in April of this year. And the findings handed down was that Fran and the gardener were the most likely ones that caused the disappearance or death of Paddy, and it's now been handed over to the DPP, Department of Justice here, and the police have handed that file now to them. So hopefully we will get an arrest on that. But I will update you as soon as I know. And this case here, this one here, this Shannon McCormack, sadly died in 2007. He was hit, punched in he was out, at a nightclub. Come out of the nightclub, his friends and another lot got into an argument. Shannon stepped in to break it up. He got punched in the side of the head that knocked him down to the ground, and he hit his head on the pavement. The bar people attended to him, first aid, and the friends put him in the car when he was right and took him home. Sadly, he must have climbed into bed, and he deteriorated overnight. His parents rushed him to hospital, but sadly, a number of operations, and that later he passed away 6 days after. And they have not found the man yet that did this. But there is a $1 million reward. This is one of the men. This was off of the CCTV footage. And this is another one of the men, but this is not, I noticed this one is not actually a clear picture. So I will put the other ones back up. This is the CCTV footage of the three men after. Especially this guy here. So, and this being 15 years ago, as we were saying, hopefully now these mates have dropped out from each other like friends do, and one of them will come forward, or somebody will come forward for the $1 million, hopefully. And hopefully his mum and dad will get justice, and his friend. But somebody there, and I believe there's just more than these three people that know about it. I strongly do believe that. I have no doubt that these three have told other people, because like I said, it would have been on the news. I know it was on the news here. It would have been, I know it was on the news here. You're welcome, Cece. And they would have known what happened to him. So, but I will play that video again, everyone, the one from the cold case, because I would like somebody to recognise it, see it and recognise it. So if you don't mind, I will play this again. And this time we'll have sound, because I won't do that again, hopefully. I just got to remind myself to add the audio. Well, no, I'd already done that. What am I doing? Sorry, guys. Okay, add the audio, Lisa. Okay.
Homicide Squad detectives continuing to appeal for public information as part of their ongoing investigation into the death of Shannon McCormack in 2007. Shannon was just 22 years old when he was fatally assaulted. He had left the Queensbridge Hotel nightclub in Southbank with friends about 4 a.m. on Sunday, the 27th of May. The group then became involved in an altercation with another group, which comprised of at least 3 males about 100 metres from the venue. Shannon stepped in to try and separate his friend from the argument with another man when he was punched by an unknown male. He was knocked to the footpath and investigators believe Shannon struck his head on the ground, causing a serious head injury. Shannon's friends and nightclub staff administered first aid before taking him home to Eltham in a taxi. However, his condition deteriorated overnight and his parents conveyed him to the Austin Hospital. Despite undergoing a number of operations over the next few days, sadly, Shannon passed away on Sunday, the 3rd of June, as a result of his injuries. Investigators subsequently trawled through thousands of hours of CCTV footage, as well as interviewing a large number of witnesses, hotel staff and patrons, in an effort to locate the person responsible for the assault which led to Shannon's death. Police have also conducted a significant number of public appeals over the past 15 years as part of the investigation. In 2013, investigators released CCTV footage from outside the Queensbridge Hotel, which shows a man we are still looking to identify. The man is described as being between 165 to 175 centimetres tall, with a thin to medium build and light brown or blonde spiky hair. On the night, he was wearing a light purple or blue t-shirt and light blue jeans. Police are still appealing for anyone who recognises this man or has knowledge of his identity to come forward, and we are again releasing images from that CCTV. Shannon was just 22 years of age at the time of his tragic death and had his whole life ahead of him. He was much loved and popular and had a wide circle of friends. Shannon is still especially missed by his family, including his parents Bill and Cheryl, who have also been actively involved in appealing for information about who was responsible for their son's death. They remain desperate for answers and to see those responsible held to account. Police believe there are still people out there who have information about who was responsible for the assault which resulted in Shannon's senseless and untimely death. Over the past 15 years, it is highly likely that those involved on the night have spoken to someone else about it, and that the information may have also been passed on to others. Circumstances and allegiances may have changed, and people who weren't in a position to speak to police previously may now be ready to do so. As always, this information can be provided anonymously. I urge anyone with any information about the incident to please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or via their website. In April 2009, a $100,000 reward was announced in relation to information leading to the conviction of those responsible for Shannon's death. In June 2022, this reward was increased to $1 million. Someone out there knows something, and 15 years is a long time for Shannon's grieving family to go without answers.
Yep, it is very sad, these poor parents. It's just heart-wrenching. And they're sadly still waiting for answers. But like I said, I really do like this cold case website, and there is a few cases I will be doing off of it. Thank you, CC. You're such a lovely person. You all are. I love you guys tremendously. So hopefully by midweek, I just need to fix a few more things, and then hopefully by midweek, I'll be doing this more on this channel. And I'll still be on Dago's channel, but probably if he's going to do morning and afternoons. I'll probably now join him on the afternoon ones. Has there been anything on which one, Jody? Love you too, Holly. This is what I was saying on Joe's channel. As much as I give, you guys give back so much. Just being there. And the support you give, you have no idea. And like we said over there, you guys are so beautiful. And we have such good people there. I don't want to be a channel that uses clickbait. I won't do that. I refuse to do that. What's in my heading is what I will be talking about. I am going to stay true to these victims and their families, and I am going to remain true and respectful to the victims and to their families. So each time I do a heading or each time I say something, I think about how they will take it, how it will come off. If that was me, how would I feel? And that's what we'll do. We'll remain true to the victims and to the cases, and this will remain a safe place for any victim to speak up, whether it's one of you guys, when we're having the discussion, anything you want to talk about. The minute there is somebody that can't handle everybody having opinions or different opinions, or they believe their opinion's right, and none of us know whose opinion's right or wrong. So there's no point in arguing it or putting somebody else down for their opinions. They will be blocked from here. I don't want that in here. I will remain 100% true to that with my mods. Like I said, I do have rules for this channel. I will not tolerate abusive language. I won't tolerate swearing. As you guys can kind of work out, I don't swear. I don't like it. I don't mind it being dropped every now and then, but you won't hear it from me unless I'm reading something. Thank you, CC. I try to be. And that's all right, Holly. That's fine. Like I said, I don't begrudge anybody from swearing. I just personally don't want to treat, I have respect for people. So I will not, while we're doing this, you will not hear me swear, because I feel like I'm swearing at you. And I don't swear anyway. Off of here, I do not swear. Joe can vouch for that. I'm just not that person. So, but like I said, I definitely want this to be a safe place for you all as well as me. And I want you guys to brainstorm with me to see what answers we can come up with, which is exactly what police do. They get together and they brainstorm, and that's what we're going to do. Hi, AJ. How are you, love? So we're just a brainstorming community now. We're all little detectives ourselves. So that's what we're going to do. And I have all the rules written out for what's to take place in chat. But definitely will not tolerate anybody abusing any one of you guys at all. The mods have my permission to block them straight away if they become abusive towards any one of you, or to anybody that's up on panel. And I'm happy to drop a link for anyone who is to come up and say what you feel about the case, to give me your thoughts and your opinions, because I value each and every one of you. And not just brainstorm about the cases, but you are more than welcome to brainstorm about things we can cover. Doesn't matter where it is. About the research, how it's presented, anything you guys want, I'm happy to do. This channel is as much mine as it is each and every one of you guys. That is honest and 100% true. So I want you all to remember that. You are my brainstormers. I can't do all this without you guys. Thank you, Holly. You're more than welcome, Holly. We all need a safe place. We all need somewhere where we can offload and not feel like we're going to be attacked for it or ignored. And I'm like Joe, I'm not looking for a huge channel. I'm sorry. That's not my goal. I like it with you guys. A few more's fine, plus horses. But yes, I definitely want this to stay a very safe place. And if at any point anyone of you don't feel safe or something has happened that's gone on between anybody here. Hi, Jen. How are you, beautiful? Please contact me or get hold of me by email and let me know. Because like I said, I won't tolerate it. How you been, Jen? You guys missed all the horse pictures. I will upload some more videos for you with the horses. Seems you enjoyed that. Yeah, welcome, CC. Oh, you didn't get to see the horses, did you, CC? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Jen. I hope you get better soon, hun. Nothing worse. So, does anybody have any ideas? Whether it's about this case, about the channel, anything you like. You look after yourself, Jen, please. Oh, well, that's good, CC. No problem, love. We look after our own here. Thanks, Pacific. Yes, we definitely hope you feel better soon, Jen. This is what I love, the support that you guys show one another. Such amazing, beautiful people you are, all of you. And I am very honoured to have you here with me. And hopefully, not hopefully, but like I said, as from midweek, possibly earlier than that, I'll be on here, be able to be on here a bit more steadier. No problem, CC. Speak from the heart, love. No, Holly. Like I said, it's been handed over now to the Department of Justice. So the police have actually handed that file, his file, over to the Department of Justice. So it's up to them what they do now, whether they'll proceed with proceedings or arrest warrants. Hopefully they will. But as soon as there's any update, I will let you know straight away. That I promise. Because we want justice for Paddy. He deserves it. So does his dog. But sadly, they won't. The dog won't be in that at all either. And that annoys me because they treat animals like property. As I guess you all know. So, unfortunately, hurt an animal or unalive an animal when they don't pay any price for it. And to some people, their animals are more than just animals. And one would ask if he was singing the song about smacking him with a claw hammer in the nose and in the head. It makes you kind of sick to think how he unalived the dog too. Oh yes, he included the dog in one of his songs. No, Jody. I did look that up, love, and I couldn't remember who asked me about that. So her child come back here in Queensland, they live actually, to her mother and her brother, but there has been no update on her. I know they've gone back over there a couple of times since, the parents, the mother and the brother, sorry, but unfortunately no updates, no nothing, and that is rather a bizarre case. So we might include that if you like. Very soon here, we might cover that. Because that's a very sad case. The only blessing out of that was the child. They spared the child. But one would wonder why she was taken and he was taken. What did they do? What were they into? But we will, I think we should cover that, Jody. And I can then fully go into it with you. I'm going by memory, but I do know the child come home here and is with the mum and her brother. The male that she was with was into drugs. I did think that myself, actually. So would you like me to cover it on here, Jody, for you? Oh, for all ears, I should say. Not just for you, but all it is. But yeah, I sadly couldn't remember who asked me about that case, and I did go into it and look it up. I do remember the case myself, but yeah, as for what happened after the little girl was found, I don't remember seeing anything about that. Oh, a picnic at Hanging Rock, Jen. I have. There's also a movie called Picnic at Hanging Rock about the three girls that, well, the day they spent out there and the girl that never come back. And do you want me to tell you about that? No, it's not true, love. Okay, Jody, we will cover that. Happy to do it. No, Jen, it's not a true story. I've been to Hanging Rock. I've actually gone through and right up the top of Hanging Rock. Such a pretty, pretty place. But yeah, there's also a movie. And I don't know, because I read the book when I was young, so I can't remember how the book went, whether it was the same as the movie, because I've watched the movie several times. But I know in the movie they say the two girls that were with her couldn't remember what had happened or remembered anything. But yeah, sadly, not sadly, gratefully, it wasn't true. But it was really well done. Could be a great possibility. You sound very much like me, because I read that book when I was young, and then, yeah, like I said, watched the movie several times. The same as I remember a lady going missing, and she was pregnant at the time, if I remember correct. Yeah, she was. And the husband was standing there, and I was a teenager then, and the husband was on the news crying, saying, holding up her picture, saying he doesn't know where she is, etc., etc. And yep, I turned around to my mum and said, "Oh, he's lying." And she laughed at me and said, "Oh, okay." And yeah, it turned out a couple of days later, she was found in the tip here, the rubbish dump. He had sadly ended her life, and of course the baby she was carrying. But here they don't get charged for the baby's life, which I think stinks. Our laws are shocking here. Like murder, you're looking at 25 here, and they walk out 10 to 15 years later. As the saying goes, if you're ever going to do a murder, do it in Australia. I mean, that guy that came over from America that just married his wife and had their honeymoon over here, and he killed her while they were snorkeling. He did 5 years here. The movie is called the same as the book, Picnic at Hanging Rock. Hopefully you should be able to find it over there. Yeah, 5 years he did. And when he went back to America, and I will find the case for you, when he went back to America, and I can't remember where he was from, over there they somehow found a loophole that they could get him on. And it turned out that he was going to do more time over there than what he did here, the 5 years, and they couldn't get him on murder there. But I can't remember their name for the life of me, but I will look that up and find it for you and show you. Thank you, Life, Love and True Crime. I adore you too. I adore all of you. You remember her family, Jen? I wish I could remember their names. Because I'm pretty sure he married her for the money. Wow, really? Whereabouts are you, Jody, if you don't mind me asking, love? Me, I believe that if they take a life, they should do life. I don't know how you can say, like this 22-year-old, that, hey, we'll sentence you to 25 years. How is that life? And like I said, they don't do the 25 years anyway. They walk out in 10 to 15. What did I ask? That's a good question. What did I ask? Oh, that might be it. Did you find it, Holly? God, Jody, I've got to remember what I did ask you, love. No, I can't remember. I've gone brain dead now. Oh, that's it. Thank you. Thank you, Pamela. Where are you from, love, if you don't mind me asking? Thank God for Pamela. Thanks, Pamela. See, that took a whole of 5 minutes for me to forget. Oh, okay. That's a bit odd for over there. Only 10 years, would it not be, love? But it should, CC. It certainly should, but you're right, it doesn't. Let me see if I can, if that was their name. Betty Shanks, is that her name? That was her name? Mm. Oh, because I'm on the wrong place. Watson, Tina Watson. Watson, Jen, you've lost me, hun. Is that the name I'm talking about? The one where he married her and come over here for their honeymoon? Is that what you're talking about, Jen? Oh, Watson. Okay. Oh, that's not going to help there anyway. Let me look. Yep, that was them. Thank you. Thank you. In October of 2003. God, was that long ago? Wow, didn't think it was that long ago. Oh my God. Okay. Such a pretty girl too, she was. Yeah, Townsville it was. It should tell you that he only got 5 years. He was born in West Germany. I didn't know that. Oh, so Tina had heart problems that it used to race and everything. You remember now, CC? Yeah, he is. He's out living his life. I'm not going to state that yet. Like I said, I do know that the last I remember hearing was that when he went back home over there, that there was a loophole that they could get him on and have him jailed, but it wasn't murder. So let me find where it says he got 5 years. He was named after his father. Oh, I don't care who he was named after. I'm sure his dad's so proud of that now. Oh, the mother must have known something because apparently they called off the engagement. Didn't know that. Oh, no, wait a minute. Before Gabe, she was engaged to someone else, but called off the engagement due to her mother's disapproval. That's sad, isn't it? No, that's all right, CC. My brain's the same, love. Don't feel alone. Oh, see, she went to the father. Tina went to see her father and asked him to increase the life insurance and add Gabe as sole beneficiary. How convenient. Tina's father didn't understand the rush, so he brushed it off until they come back from their honeymoon. Thank God for that. Yeah, see, they sounded not that great about him. Yeah, that's what I reckon it was done for, CC money. I said that back then. So, yeah, they got married on October the 11th, 2003. Their honeymoon set day after their wedding, the day after their wedding. Very wise father. They would be going to Australia for 2 weeks. In the first week, they would be in Sydney, and the second week, they travelled to Townsville, Queensland. In Townsville, they would board a cruise and perform 25 scuba dives visiting the reef sites. Now, if I remember correctly, she wasn't that experienced of a scuba diver either. The ship they were on, called Spoil Sport, at the time Gabe had done 55 dives, while Tina had done only 5. There you go. She was less experienced than him, but Gabe was a certified rescue diver, so Tina felt safe. He really rescued her, didn't he? The couple was ready for harder dive, but Gabe refused to take the professional diver with them. He tells him that he is a certified diver. We don't need your help. You don't reckon this was well planned? The couple was, he tells him, as they were waiting for their dive, Gabe was having problems with his dive computer, which made Tina a little uncomfortable. I wish to God she had her bailed out. But he definitely. So in October 22nd, so they were married on the 11th, so it was 11 days after. Yeah, it definitely was premeditated, Holly. Definitely. Get rid of that. Yeah, CC, no witnesses. The dive was considered fairly difficult due to the depth of the dive and the current of the ocean. There were a few people on the boat to help if anything goes wrong. Before the dive, Gabe asked for the additional weight for Tina. So he even overweighted her too. Wow. In this opinion, she won't be able to descend to the boat without the weight. After Tina got her weight, they dive, and within a few minutes of them being underwater, Gabe says that Tina began acting concerned, trying to signal to him that something is wrong. Now, he was supposed to be I don't know how he was certified as a what do you say he was? Certified rescue diver. I'd like to know how he was a certified rescue diver with only 55 dives. That doesn't make sense. So, signal him that something is wrong. Gabe said that Tina accidentally knocked her breathing mask off of his face, and then he started to panic. How convenient. He got distracted fixing his mask. Well, if you're a rescue diver, you should be able to do that without panicking. Hi, David. How are you, love? So, yeah, he got distracted while fixing his mask. But after he fixes it, he looks over Tina and notices that Tina was sinking. Instead of helping her, he swims up to the surface and goes to the boat and gets help, while there was an underwater instructor Wade, who saw Tina sinking. He grabs her and takes up to the surface. I bet you that annoyed him. It sounds familiar, this case, Pamela, because this case is, they come from America over here on their honeymoon in 2003 and went scuba diving on their honeymoon 11 days after, and he unalives her like the lovely guy he is. And anyway, I was just saying that he was found guilty here and he did 5 years for that and went back to America. And I'm pretty sure they got him on something else in America that he was going to serve more time. The instructor took, wait a minute, Wade, who saw Tina, grabs her and takes her up to the surface. The instructor took to another board named Jazz too and gives her CPR for over 30 minutes. What was he doing? When people asked Gabe, why didn't you bring her up? His reason was that he never learned how to bring someone back to the surface. Now, I don't believe that because I don't think you would pass a certificate unless you knew how to do that. If you're a rescue diver, you would have to pass that part of it by bringing somebody up. Oh, did he, Pamela? A lousy 11 days married. You remember this one too, David? Stop. Yeah, so he claims he was never taught that, which would be rubbish. Like I said, you wouldn't pass your certificate without doing that. Gabe swims back to the original board and doesn't even ask where Tina is or if she is okay. Of course not. The people on board find it weird and said that Gabe was acting strangely and he was going around asking everyone for hugs. The shipmate said that he wasn't even upset. No, I bet you he was angry, though, that they bring her up. Once the help arrives and they, though, I think that should be, took Tina to the hospital, the doctor said that it was weird that there was very little water in her lungs. They found this odd because she should have a lot more water in her lungs. Remind you of anything? Sorry, sidetracked there. Wade finds it weird that Tina sinks in the first place. Scuba divers, unless you are weighted, were naturally buoyant. They don't just sink. When Wade swam to save Tina, he noticed that she had all her weights on and he had to drop her weight belt to get her to the surface faster. And later on in the investigation, they discovered that Tina was wearing 20 pounds of weight when she would have only needed 8 pounds of weight. Sadly, Tina couldn't be saved and passed away. It's one sick puppy. Great minds think alike there, Jody. Very sick man. Funeral and aftermath, investigation. See, Tina's father, Tommy, didn't believe a single word of that story. He felt like he has to dig a little bit deeper. A few members from Spoil Sport ship reached out to Tommy for helping him get the answers about about his daughter, that should be. After talking one man from the ship and learning that Gabe hadn't gone on the ship where Tina was being resuscitated, Tommy decides to fly to Australia and investigate himself. I'm guessing at this point Dad was fairly angry. The first person Tommy speaks within Australia is the diver that brought Tina back. After talking to the police and looking the case closely, Townsville police agreed that there was reasonable evidence of foul play. They decided in July of 2004 the case was listed now as a criminal case, not as an accident. The police noted several inconsistencies with Gabe's story and evidence, and Tina's body was not where Gabe said it was. Gabe also said on the way to the surface he encountered two divers and tried to tell them to help Tina, but police found no evidence of these two divers Gabe spoke of in his mind. Very sick man, this guy. It's rather frightening to think if he is walking around now. The two divers. Gabe also said that he rocketed to the surface to help Tina, but his dive computer, that should be, proven otherwise, that he took his time to reach the surface. Now Tina's dive computer showed that she resurfaced a couple of times throughout their scuba dive very quickly, which made them think she was going up because she was panicking. This provides evidence that Tina was very uncomfortable with diving and she shouldn't have extra help. She should have had extra help. Her scuba teacher later confirms this in court, that she wasn't an experienced diver. Again, there was a very little amount of water found in Tina's lungs, and it was believed that she passed out during the dive and her mouth must have relaxed off the mouth. Well, her mouth relaxed and the mouthpiece must have fallen out, which allows a small amount of water into her mouth. That's what a way. I couldn't think of a worse way to go other than burning. He did remarry. Oh my God. Good Lord, this is why I would never get remarried. Good Lord. Is his wife still alive? No. He planned this specific. And he must, I wonder if he actually knew that the father wasn't going to change the life insurance over until they got back from their honeymoon. Because by the sounds of it, I don't think he did. I think he was going to do this and thought he was going to collect on it. So there was, she had no extra help, which she should have had. We've just got to find out where I'm up to. The teacher later confirms this in court, and she wasn't an experienced diver. Again, there was a very little amount of water found in Tina's lungs, and it was believed that she passed out during the dive and her mouth. Oh, we read that bit. Sorry, guys. They suspected that Gabe had turned her air off until she was unconscious. Oh, my God. What she must have went through, and turned back on before he left her. It was believed that when the eyewitnesses saw Gabe giving Tina a bear hug, he must have turned off her oxygen. That's the reason she was struggling. Could you imagine what she would have went through? He is a beast. He's a very... God, this poor lady. This was dispute by dive experts that this is written so weirdly, that this would have been nearly impossible, that Tina would be able to reach the surface before her air ran out. After interviewing several scuba diving experts, police found that Gabe had experience with bringing people to the surface. I knew he had to do that to pass that certificate. So, you sick man, very sick man. To the service. Then the police investigate the company Tina and Gabe dived with. The company labelled each diver according to their skills and amount of dives they had performed. Only 15 of Gabe's dives were ocean dives, but he did note that on the form that why the company thought that Gabe was way more experienced with these types of dives than he was. They thought that because Gabe has said over and over again that he is certified diver. If the company had followed the protocol, then Gabe and Tina would have a trained diver with them to make sure they are safe. But Gabe lied, and he didn't also tell the company about Tina's panic while underwater and completely left that part out. This guy makes me really angry. Yeah, I agree with you there, Pamela. Somebody remove his oxygen. That's a horrible, horrible way to die. And what's worse is she is looking at this man while he's doing this. Wow. Tommy also said that every time he visits Tina's grave, the flowers that he left would mysteriously disappear. I remember this bit. He believed that someone was stealing them. Gabe also wanted to exhume Tina's body and move it to a plot that he had owned. Sadly, when he moved Tina's grave, he never got a headstone for it and left it unmarked for 3 years. What a revengeful... He is pure evil, this man. Oh, really, Jody? It's not good, hun. Well, this is what pure evil looks like. Tommy found out where Gabe had moved Tina's body and left flowers for her, and the next day the flowers would disappear again. Tommy would say that sometimes hours later the flowers would disappear. So I went to the police and explained the situation. I do remember this. The police ended up setting a camera near the grave to see who's the culprit. Finally, they caught Gabe on the footage stealing the flowers. This guy is so revengeful. What was his beef with her? He didn't have to marry her, for God's sakes. What has Dave said? What's a PADDY? Oh, are you, Dave? Well, then again, look where you live. Do you dive often, Dave? So I read that. Gabe's excuse for it was that Tina didn't like plastic flowers. She didn't like you either, buddy. In the meantime, Gabe starts dating Kim, whom he ends up marrying in August of 2008. The authorities of Australia ended up flying to Alabama to research into the case further. The police found a lot of dirt on Gabe. He wasn't the husband he was showing everyone he was. Authorities also found that Tina and Gabe broke up shortly before their engagement because they were bickering a lot. And Tina was just ready to move on. Oh, dear God, she was so close, so close. I wish she had just moved on. I lost where I was up to, guys. The authorities ended up I read that. Oh, during their break, Tina was set up on a date. Apparently, Gabe found out about this and he was livid. He started to call her names and harass her, but eventually they got back together and Gabe proposed to Tina. Police thought that life insurance payout could have been his motive, the one that he didn't get. In May of 2009, Gabe finally sent back to Australia to stand trial. He agreed to go after making the deal. They would drop the case from murder to manslaughter. No, that was murder. That was planned. At his trial, he was convicted of manslaughter and given a sentence of, here you go, 4.5 years. But the judge ended up suspending it to 12 months. Oh, good on you, Dave. You'll have to tell us all about it. Bring back some pictures. All right, Pacific, take care, sweetheart. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, love. I hope you enjoyed it. Love you, sweetheart. Please take care. So there you go. He had, like I said, I actually thought he did 5 years, but there you go. He got sentenced 4.5 years and ended up suspended it to 12 months. Alabama Attorney General appealed the sentence because he thought it was way too lenient. No, really? And the appeal was approved. There you go. And it was expanded to 18 months. Wow. 18 months. Alabama Attorney General bring the case back to the United States and they wanted the case tried again in Alabama. Alabama Attorney General said that there was additional evidence that hadn't been seen in the Australian court case. Australia would not allow any evidence that was found in Australia to return to America without a promise that Alabama would not seek the death penalty. That's right, I remember that. Oh, you frightened me, Abby. Stop. Sorry, guys. Stop. God, peel me off the roof, everybody. And all of you along with me. Abby, stop it. Thanks, Jody. So how disgusting is that? 18 months for somebody's life, when, especially the cruel way he did it. That just makes me so angry. So he did return Tina's. During this time, Alabama courts removed Gabe as the administrator of Tina's estate, thank God, and they ended up granting it to Tina's father. Tommy asked Gabe for Tina's personal belongings, but Gabe didn't return it. You sick. The trial officially went to court on February the 13th, 2012, which was Tina's 35th birthday. For some reason in Alabama, they weren't allowed to mention the evidence of Gabe's weird behavior and weren't allowed to raise the life insurance claim. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's what I'd like to know. What is going on? 18 months, that's so disgusting. And then they're trying it back in the States and they're not allowed to mention evidence that counts. That's unbelievable. Without all this evidence, the judge decided there wasn't much evidence to convict Gabe of murder and he was acquitted of all charges. Gabe said he's at peace with it now and wants to rebuild his life. Tina's family didn't get any closure. They would never have got closure anyway. I don't believe in that word. Are you kidding me? See, I forgot to, like I said, I did hear that they were trying him over there, but it was never made public here what happened. So that just makes me so angry. That's what we said, Dave. It was definitely premeditated with the extra weight and everything, when she only needed 8 pounds, and what they say he put, God, I can't remember, which you would know about the weights. She was wearing 20 pounds of weight, David, and she only needed 8 pounds. That is ridiculous. But he hugged her and switched the oxygen off, waited for her to pass out, or pass over would be more to the point, and then switched it back on. And other divers saw him bear hugging her. But you'd imagine having your air taken away from you. That's as good as strangling her. I hope the other wife that he married got out of there. Her poor father. Oh no, really? Oh my God. Oh my God, Holly. She's only 16 too, isn't she? Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. This isn't fair. Very young. You're in God's hands now, Trinity. I'm not sure how she went missing. I did see the post for it though, just before I started my live. I just didn't read right. I didn't go through it. I didn't have time to, sadly. Did she walk out because she had an argument with her or something? Oh, okay. Well, apparently the diver that did bring her up after he got up there said that he had to drop the weights off her because to get her up to the surface faster, David. He definitely made sure she wasn't going to get up there herself when he switched the oxygen off. Okay, Holly. Yeah, I saw it on quite a few posts on YouTube about her. I wonder if they think she's unalived herself or somebody else has. No, you're fine, Holly. Thank you so much for the update, love. You're fine. We somehow ended up on this case anyway, an extra case thrown in there, but at least we know the outcome of this one. Dear God. Let's all keep her parents and her friends and let's say her parents, her family, all in our prayers, please, guys. Don't say sorry for sidetracking for something like that, Holly. And don't ever say sorry for sidetracking on anything anyway. And your backup regulator in your BCD. She only had 5 dives, David. He only had 55. And I think it was 5 dives or something in ocean. So I'd like to know how. Oh, no, he was lying about being a rescue diver. That's right. However, he did know how to bring somebody up to the surface. He hugged her to turn off the oxygen, they believe. So when people saw him, so it didn't look suspicious, he was hugging her, and he apparently turned off her oxygen. And then when she passed, he turned off her oxygen and went up. When he went up to the surface and claimed that somehow she went into panic mode and knocked his mask off, and then he panicked. It's all just a big lie. Oh yeah, he certainly did, David. Very sick man. But he got, like I said, he got remarried. So one would hope that she got out of there very quickly. Nobody would want to be married to that man, surely not. But it amazes me what some women will do to stay with somebody, and I don't mean that disrespectfully. Please believe that. But there are women that will just do anything to stay married to somebody or be to somebody, knowing that they've either killed somebody or done other things. It just blows my mind. I'm sorry, I don't know how they accept it. Morally, just don't know how. I would accept it if it wasn't. I could, not me personally, I couldn't be with somebody that I knew unalive somebody. However, as I've told you, I come close to doing that once myself, and I get where people get to that point. However, in saying that too, I could understand it if it's an accident, but this is just torture and cruelty. It's so wrong. It's just ridiculous. Just makes me angry that he got married again. And I hope she didn't have life insurance. Let's hope. So,
next few days, sadly.
Oh, sorry, guys. Do you mind if I play this just one more time, guys? Just so I can get this out, especially the CCTV footage in this. And then we'll look at wrapping that up if you don't mind. So I'll just run through this one more time.
Homicide Squad detectives continuing to appeal for public information as part of their ongoing investigation into the death of Shannon McCormack in 2007. Shannon was just 22 years old when he was fatally assaulted. He had left the Queensbridge Hotel nightclub in Southbank with friends about 4 a.m. on Sunday, the 27th of May. The group then became involved in an altercation with another group, which comprised of at least 3 males about 100 metres from the venue. Shannon stepped in to try and separate his friend from the argument with another man when he was punched by an unknown male. He was knocked to the footpath, and investigators believe Shannon struck his head on the ground, causing a serious head injury. Shannon's friends and nightclub staff administered first aid before taking him home to Eltham in a taxi. However, his condition deteriorated overnight and his parents conveyed him to the Austin Hospital. Despite undergoing a number of operations over the next few days, sadly, Shannon passed away on Sunday, the 3rd of June, as a result of his injuries. Investigators subsequently trawled through thousands of hours of CCTV footage, as well as interviewing a large number of witnesses, hotel staff and patrons, in an effort to locate the person responsible for the assault which led to Shannon's death. Police have also conducted a significant number of public appeals over the past 15 years as part of the investigation. In 2013, investigators released CCTV footage from outside the Queensbridge Hotel, which shows a man we are still looking to identify. The man is described as being between 165 to 175 centimetres tall, with a thin to medium build and light brown or blonde spiky hair. On the night, he was wearing a light purple or blue t-shirt and light blue jeans. Police are still appealing for anyone who recognises this man or has knowledge of his identity to come forward, and we are again releasing images from that CCTV. Shannon was just 22 years of age at the time of his tragic death and had his whole life ahead of him. He was much loved and popular and had a wide circle of friends. Shannon is still especially missed by his family, including his parents Bill and Cheryl, who have also been actively involved in appealing for information about who was responsible for their son's death. They remain desperate for answers and to see those responsible held to account. Police believe there are still people out there who have information about who was responsible for the assault which resulted in Shannon's senseless and untimely death. Over the past 15 years, it is highly likely that those involved on the night have spoken to someone else about it, and that the information may have also been passed on to others. Circumstances and allegiances may have changed, and people who weren't in a position to speak to police previously may now be ready to do so. As always, this information can be provided anonymously. I urge anyone with any information about the incident to please contact Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000 or via the website. In April 2009, a $100,000 reward was announced in relation to information leading to the conviction of those responsible for Shannon's death. In June 2022, this reward was increased to $1 million. Someone out there knows something, and 15 years is a long time for Shannon's grieving family to go without answers.
Well, hopefully somebody will come forward. I will say this to anybody that watches this and knows this guy or knows who he is. Please do the right thing. Come forward, contact Crime Stoppers. Give his parents answers. It's time. It's now 15 years. They deserve the answer they've been looking for. So if you know any one of these three people, do the right thing. Thank you all, my lovely, beautiful brainstormers. It's what you all are now. I thank you all so much for being here once again. And like I said, if you have any ideas or want me to cover anything for you, happy to do so. Like I said, this channel is as much yours as what it is mine. And you guys support me and help me just as much. I hope so, Jody. The other two fellas that were with him, his other two mates, hopefully they've had a fallout and one of them come forward. I mean, chances are, as I said, they definitely know what happened to this guy. There is no way about it because this story was very well covered on the news. So hopefully one of them, this gets out far enough. They might have moved interstate or something, but hopefully one of them comes forward. Hopefully they have children of their own now and they think about it. Yes, guys, please hit the like for me. That's all I ask. Thanks, David, for being here. Take care, sweetheart, on the road. Please look after yourself. Like I said, thank you all for being here. Thank you for all your support. You're such beautiful people. Please remember to believe in yourselves, to see the beauty in yourselves, and always know you are always beautiful. Thanks, Jody. Thanks, Holly. Love you all. You all mean the world to me, honestly. I love talking to you. Take care, everyone. I'll catch you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.